We traded in the traditional life to enjoy life on the road with the kids because you only live
Goodbye,
once.
home.
Join us on our adventures. And not recording any of our adventures in the RV. We're going to do a couple short videos on a couple different topics, and this one is going to be about RV insurance and what we've learned during our experience with the situation we had up in Oregon. One of our mistakes when we purchased our RV is we didn't really pay attention to the insurance policy. We were more focused on purchasing the rig and getting moved in and getting on the road and continuing on our trip. So we didn't really go through the policy and look at some of the really important aspects of it. So when a situation does happen, it doesn't hit you as hard financially like it did us. Our insurance company that we're using currently is Progressive, and we've had a good experience with Progressive overall. The people that we've worked with, from the adjuster to the person assigned to us to get us through the minutia, has been helpful and educational. And currently, as it sits, we're in the subrogation process. Okay, let's chat real quick about insurance. Not really an exciting topic to talk about, but one of the most important, and one that we've come to understand a little bit better during our last couple months after the tree fell on our rig. So anyways, not every insurance company offers coverage for RVs. We go through a private agent, and we ended up with Progressive. So I made a list here. So if there's anything that is worth taking a quick peek at it down the road, I shared my screen so you can take a peek at some of the stuff. I'm not going to cover nearly a quarter of it. I'm only just going to pick things that I feel that are really important to pay attention to when you get insurance coverage for your RV, your camper, whatnot. So, like I said, up here at the top is Progressive. We've had really good luck with them overall. Another popular one is Good Sam, Geico, Allstate. There's a couple other ones. Some are for Foremost Insurance is for more higher end RVs, something that we might actually take a peek at. But we do like Progressive. So we're going to actually probably take a peek at all of them besides Nationwide. And the only reason why I say that is we've learned during the course of this situation that sometimes Nationwide doesn't pay. And if your rig is damaged, you might be forced to pay out of pocket to have it repaired, because some repair facilities just won't deal with Nationwide. So take a peek at that and make your own decision. I'm not saying one way or another, but just do your due diligence and your homework to make sure that you're got a good plan and you're covered, and you don't have to worry about paying out of pocket, because that can get really expensive. Clearly, your liability and your collision, you want to make sure that you have plenty of liability involved with your policy as well as your collision. So the more expensive the rig, the more collision protection that you're obviously going to want to have. And the other core coverage is your comprehensive. Make sure that your policy amount covers your rig. Moving down further, I'm going to chat about the emergency expenses, trip interruptions. So what we really spent a lot of money on was lodging, transport, U-Hauls, storage. The list basically goes on and on, and most policies only have a $750 emergency fund. So once you exhaust that $750, and you submit your receipts to your insurance company, they'll cut you the $750. But if you're out another 5, 10, 15, $20,000, you're going to have to pay for that until you reach subrogation, if you even do get to that point. And if there is liability on the other individual, then you have an opportunity to maybe get some of that money back. But currently, we have a lot of money out on our emergency expenses. We got reimbursed $750, but we still have a bunch of receipts because we literally traveled from Oregon to Texas, and from Texas we ended up going to Florida as we're waiting to decide what our next steps are. Another really important coverage to pay attention to is total loss replacement. We didn't really know much about that until after the incident, and we were praying that we had total loss replacement. This basically will cover you, and it does not take in consideration the depreciation of the vehicle. So that's huge. RVs often depreciate the moment you take them off the lot, and this protects you in the event that there's a total loss, and you don't suffer the depreciation. Our policy, if it was totaled, if our rig was totaled, our policy gives us up to 120% of total loss replacement. So that's actually a really a good option to have for RVs. I think we will always have that as our part of our coverage. The other part for the coverage is the actual cash value, and it says it's an alternative because it's not really a preferred method of coverage. This pays the market value at the time of the loss. So, and then your deductible on top of it. So you lose that money and the depreciation. So that real quick is just a very brief overview on some of the things that we are going to pay more attention to when we get into a new rig. Is the our policy. We're going to go through it, make sure that the emergency expense is more than $750, and we have no issues paying a higher premium to get that a little bit higher. But typically it is $750, but we're going to try to get it even more. And then most importantly, the total loss replacement. We're going to make sure that our policy has that. So in the event of a total loss, we will be able to get into a new rig equal value, if not more. Hopefully you're able to take a little bit of information out of this. And if you're in the market for an RV, because we're going to be getting into spring soon, so hopefully you found something in here that is of use, and you can take a peek at my notes. Thank you. Subrogation. I mentioned that earlier, and what that basically is a process which involves assigning liability. So in our current situation, we are involved in subrogation. Our insurance company is working with the other individual's insurance company, trying to determine where the liability lays and which insurance company is going to assume the liability. Luckily, in our situation, I documented the scene as best as I possibly could with photographs, videos, drones of the damage of the tree and all that. Unfortunately, insurance investigators, to my knowledge, never went out to the scene, so I had to do the best I could to protect our situation. Also involved in this process, we submit our expenses related to this situation above and beyond what our insurance carrier will reimburse us. So hypothetically, if we provide receipts, hotel stays, U-Haul rentals, storage, other things that are directly related to this situation or your situation, and the insurance company that you're not represented by, but maybe a property owner or a vehicle owner is represented by, if they assume liability, then it makes it a little bit easier for you to get maybe not made whole, but close to it as possible.